Sync. Okay, so I want to start off this video by pointing out that I have absolutely no sort of formal education on philosophy, and I am obviously not an expert on this topic because of that. Though talking to a lot of non-vegans has made me realise that most people don't know what a logical fallacy is, and they commit them all the time, and I think that they're important to be aware of as an activist. And so I'm going to try and explain as many of them as I can, but there's so many of them, so I might have to do a follow-up video to this because I'm bound to forget some. The first one we'll go over is the appeal to nature fallacy. Now this is one that I probably hear the most, and it's when people say something like, yeah, well, lions eat me, or oh, look at my canines.
Just biologically, and in our development as a species, we've grown canine teeth.
And the gist of this argument is that it's okay to do something because it happens in nature. The problem with this is that a lot of things happen in nature that are completely awful, including infanticide. So doing something just because you think it is natural speaks absolutely nothing as to whether or not that action is morally permissible. Next up, we have the appeal to tradition fallacy, and this is when people say, yeah, well, this is the way we've always done it. It's an attempt to justify something because it is traditional. But again, just because something has been done in the past does not speak as to whether or not that action is morally permissible. In fact, morality has progressed a lot with time. Slavery used to be commonplace throughout much of the world, but I think most people now would say that that's completely abhorrent. Hopefully, nobody watching this thinks that women should be subservient to men. However, that has been the case for most of history. So saying, yeah, well, my ancestors ate meat, does not mean that you should, just because they did. Another common one is the appeal to hypocrisy fallacy.
What really bugs me about vegans, and I'll tell you, and
please do.
Yeah, and I know quite a few vegans, and it really bugs me. They'll be talking to me, and the clothes they have on, the makeup they have on, is all tested. The rucksack they have.
So say, even if there was this vegan that wore old leather shoes, that would not delegitimize their message. If Ted Bundy was to say, yeah, it's wrong to kill people, he would not be wrong just because of his past actions. It doesn't matter that he is a serial killer. It is still wrong to kill people. His actions are irrelevant to the accuracy of that claim. Whilst we should really aim to be consistent, pointing out that a vegan has done something that isn't vegan does not delegitimize their message. One that appears often when vegans are described in the media is poisoning the well. This was seen often during the media storm surrounding Joey Carbstrong in February 2018 in the UK. Joey's criminal past was always brought up. He was always described as an ex-convict or an ex-gang member. The point here is to try to discredit everything that somebody has to say by bringing up something irrelevant about them. Joey's criminal past has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not it's morally permissible to kill animals when there's no need to do so. A similar fallacy to poisoning the well is called strawmanning. It's taking an argument and adjusting it in a way that makes it a lot easier to defend yourself against. An example of this is when a vegan would say, you can't love animals whilst also paying for them to be killed, and the non-vegan would reply, yeah, just because I eat meat doesn't mean that I hate all animals. It ignores nuances in a point and takes away potential merit, and diverts the conversation in a way that's not particularly honest. And finally, for this video at least, we have the appeal to futility fallacy. This is where somebody says that there's no point in doing something because nothing will change anyway. One of the problems with this is that there's no way of knowing if nothing will change. Another problem is that holding that attitude is self-fulfilling, because if you think that there's no point in doing anything because nothing will change, well then you're not going to do anything and then nothing will change. It's fulfilling itself. And finally, just like a lot of the others, it doesn't speak anything to the morality of the issue. Like, we will never live in a completely murder or theft-free world. But that doesn't mean that we should start killing people and stealing their things just because we'll never live in a world without murder or theft. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that one there. If I've made you see something in a new light, or if you think I'm wrong about something, let me know in the comment section down below the video. And if you're more subtle than that, leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And yeah, this has been a Coli video, and I'll talk to you next time.